Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Newhoff. Happy October. I'm here to share the information that I received. It's an October energy update that I received from the Galactic Energy Group that I channel. They're an energy group of love, light, and sound. So, without further ado, here is their message for October. What they're sharing with me is that, again, the same story over and over again since the beginning of the year has been about making changes, starting within. If we want to see our world change, we have to start making the changes on ourselves. So that's pretty much been the theme for this whole year of 2020. And every month I received that message over and over again, that it's time for us to start working on ourselves. Getting rid of the old stories, the lies that we were told growing up, and I mean that in the most loving way when I call them lies, because the teachings that we received growing up from our parents were teachings of a lower vibration. They just no longer serve the greater good. The information, albeit was made with good intentions, like I said, it's just that it's no longer working the ways that we were taught. So it's time to create a new story for ourselves, to get rid of the old ways that it just doesn't work. And one of the things that they share with me is that it's time to release. It doesn't make any sense anymore to continue to rehash those old painful memories. Why would we want to do that? Why would we want to keep doing that? And many of us would do it over and over again. I was guilty. I lived in the past, and I did not live in the now. I was always going back and relating everything to my childhood, relating everything to something that happened to me when I was a teenager, to when I was a young adult. And everything was always back in, I remember when, or this happened to me because, and I was always triggered easily, and the old feelings would come up because I never really dealt with them. Well, guess what? It's time that we deal with these old feelings. It's a time that we let them go so that we can grow and so that we can move into a higher vibration. This planet is moving forward. It's been laying dormant for a long, long time, and it is now raising its vibration, and it's time for us to meet up with the Mother Gaia's vibration. And we're going into a fourth density vibration. And what does that mean? A fourth density vibration is about, it's a higher frequency. It's an understanding. It's a connection to higher sources. It's a connection to our higher self. It's lifting the veil so that we can remember why we came here and what our, I don't want to say job, but what it is that we came here to accomplish. And one of the things that we will learn, and you probably have learned by now, is that what you think about, you create. So if you're still in that old three-dimensional vibration, and you're still thinking about, in living in fear and anxiety and just all of these, lower vibrational thought patterns, then you're going to create more of that. And we've got to get out of that way of thinking. I just can't even bring this across to you enough about how it is so important for all of us to come together collectively with a new way of thinking, a new thought pattern, ways of accomplishing things that are not working in our government, new ways of thinking of how we can, clean up this planet. This planet is choking, and it is a living, breathing entity, just as you and I are. And we have to do what we need to do to get into this higher vibration so that we can make a difference most of us, if you're watching this video right now, more than likely you're a light worker. You're an empath. You're here to help heal the planet. But we have to heal ourselves first. So that's what we're here to do. We need to heal ourselves first. Anyway, so along that line, it's time for us to make the changes. There's going to be a lot of chaos in October. A lot of old feelings and old ways and old patterns are going to start surfacing, and they have to come out. They have to come out in order for us to heal once and for all. And they're coming out, and it's going to feel like so many things are coming at us at once. And if you're doing the work on yourself and you're starting to, to heal your old wounds, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. None of us are going to go unscathed. We're all going to feel this. We're all going to feel this energy. People are angry. They're frightened. They are bringing out all of their inhibitions, and they are spewing their anxieties out into the world. And we have to be so very careful not to get caught up in that negative energy. It's so important to stay focused on what we need to do, and that is go within and heal our own wounds, our old patterns, and just to let go of the old ways. And if we remain attached to those old ways, to those old patterns, things are going to get so much harder for us. And moving forward into the months ahead, October is a month of preparation. It's preparing us. We need to become prepared. Just like a squirrel right now, they're running around and they're collecting their nuts, and they are storing them for the winter. They're getting ready. They're getting prepared for hibernation. And that's what we're going to be going into. We're going to be going into this hibernation mode of different things. And I haven't gotten the whole story yet, but what I'm hearing from the energy group is that there are we just have to get out of the old pattern. Basically, that's pretty much all it is. And there's going to be so much more to come, but if we're not prepared in the month of October moving forward, this whole year has been about preparation. This whole year has been about transitioning. And we have another big shift coming. And it's a planetary shift. And we need to get on board. And we need to start moving forward and progressing. So it's about preparing ourselves for the months to come. I don't know what that means. Next month, I will have another story. I'm sure they'll share with me again of what to expect in November. But right now, this is what they're telling me, that the months ahead are going to be rocky. They're going to be chaotic. There's going to be a lot of old feelings and old patterns rising up so that they can be healed. There's going to be a lot of anger and hurt, and we're already feeling this. We're already feeling this. I mean, I watched the presidential election, the debates the other night, and I was so disappointed in who we are, and it just it saddens my heart to see that the presidential candidates are acting like children on a playground. One is a bully, and one is being intimidated by this bully. And this has pretty much been this planet Earth for way too long. And it's time for us to make the change. But the change starts within. We can't do it without fixing ourselves first and fixing the way we look at things. And when we fix the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And so it's just so important right now, guys. I can't tell you enough how important this is. So do the work. It's about consistency. It's about staying, what's the word I'm looking for? It's about being patient with yourself. Of course, I have to always remind myself that because I'm not always patient with myself. But it's about, catching yourself when you're saying a bad thing, like when you're saying a negative thing about yourself or someone else. And when you're focusing on the negativity of something, it's about catching yourself and stopping yourself right away and saying, "Oop, no, delete, delete, delete. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to think that. This is the old Lisa. The new Lisa is going to, and I'll come up with 3. I've taught myself this. So here's a little what do you want to call it? Teaching. So every time you say something negative about yourself or someone else, it's important to say 3 things positive about yourself or that other person that you were thinking negatively about. So these are the things that are important for us to do. It's just like creating a new story, creating a new way of looking at things. And it takes practice, and practice makes perfect. And, that's something that we're always going to be working on. It's not going to ever be complete. It's never going to be done. We're going to continue to work on ourselves because there's always something that's going to come up and a different story is going to be told. And, we have triggers, and these triggers are from our past experiences. And so it's always important that when we feel that trigger and someone has lit something up inside of us, that we stop and we say, "Oh, where'd that come from? What's this about? What am I supposed to learn from this?" And then we look at it and we move on from it. And once you become aware of it, you can't become unaware anymore. You're aware now. So it's just about, being patient with yourself and moving forward and just continuing to move forward and reminding yourself every single day that you matter. We've been told stories about we're not enough and we're not this and we're not that, but you are enough. I'm enough. So. And the other thing that they tell me is that for so long we have been feeling as if we're separate. We're separate from God. We're separate from spirit. We're separate from each other. It's their country and our country. It's them against us. That's not the truth. The truth is that we are all a part of one. We're all part of God. We cannot be separate. They explained it to me in quantum physics, which is a little bit over my head. Never was good at school. But, and how they explained it to me is that if you take an atom and you split that atom, you create another atom. And guess what? Atoms are God sparks. And we are all made of atoms and molecules and subparticles, subatomic particles, or whatever that is. But how can we be separate from each other? And what we do to ourselves or what we do to someone else, it affects everybody. It's a ripple effect. So you might not recognize it right away, but it will eventually affect someone else. And I'm going to tell a story about, and a lot of you might think I'm crazy or whoa, what's up with her? But I'm going to tell the story anyway. When they found bin Laden and, or Saddam Hussein. And when they found him in that little hole, that little bunker that he was hiding in, and I saw his eyes looking up at the camera, and he looked so frightened. He knew his life was coming to an end. And I know the cruelty that he had, and I know what he did. And I know it was awful and it was horrible. But at that moment, I felt love for somebody and I felt sadness for him. And till this day, I cry when I think about that. Because he did a lot of things that were considered bad, and he hurt a lot of people. But yet, he is still a part of God. He is not separate. What he did to other people, he did to me. And when we captured him, I saw into his soul, and my heart wept for him. We're all human. We all can become delusional. Any one of us. We don't know what could happen to us. We don't know what happens in people's childhood that makes them be the way they are. But it's so important to have love and compassion for each other. Because if we don't, we're no better than them. This is what it's all about. It's about changing the way we think, changing the way we look at things. That's about it. So, another thing that we need to do is ground ourselves, because this is going to be such a chaotic time, and this isn't coming to an end anytime soon. What I'm feeling and what I'm hearing from the energy group is that this is going to go on for a while. This didn't happen overnight. We didn't create all of this overnight. And we created this chaos. And now it's time for us to create something new. What is it that you want to create? Do you want to create more war, more hatred, more fear? Or do you want to create love, abundance, kindness? It's up to you. I think you know where I'm going. Love, compassion, peace. But it starts within. It starts in here. And we clear out the clutter when we get grounded. We meditate. We have prayer. We talk to God. We share our stories with God. It doesn't have to be a grandiose prayer. You can just have a conversation with God. He knows you. Just make it who you are. Sometimes I just talk to him like I'm talking to a friend. And he is my friend. And he's yours. So share the love. And watch how your life changes. When we start changing this, our world around us begins to change. Find a way to get grounded. Meditation is so important to quiet the mind. The mind is always busy, even when we're trying to meditate. But that's okay. It takes practice. The more you do it, the better you get. So that's what I have to say this month. October is going to be a very chaotic month. But you know what? As always, it's what you make of it. What do you want to do with October? I'm planning on having some fun. I plan on going around and kicking leaves and smelling the leaves in the woods and getting grounded in nature and remembering when I was a kid and how we used to just jump in the leaves. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to become a kid again. I'm just going to enjoy life and enjoy the nature and enjoy what God has created for us. And I hope you do the same. I send you love and peace and blessings. Namaste.